Welcome to the Women's March Canada podcast, making the equality of women in Canada the new norm. This is episode 23, titled Periods and Power. How do you like that, Rachel? That's a pretty good name, huh?
Yep, that's pretty good.
My name is Melissa Durrell, I'm your host. And as I just mentioned, Rachel Ettinger is our guest today. She's the morning radio host of Virgin Radio London. She's also the creator of Shop Here for Her, an online clothing store to end the stigma behind women's health. I can't wait to talk to you. And you're going to have the best voice ever, right? Because you're a radio DJ?
I don't know. By this time at the end of the week, my voice starts to get a little raspier from speaking all week, but hopefully.
Welcome to Women's March Canada podcast. Rachel, how did you get involved in women's health? Like, what was it that drew you towards that?
Yeah, oh my gosh, so much. I think a lot of it has to do with my upbringing. So I was brought up in a very open family and environment. My mom is a RN and she was a sexual health nurse for many years. So growing up, it was very open and honest with my sister and I, and we'd talk about everything and anything. So you can imagine how that was. And then I got to university and I lived with 6 roommates, and these are, confident, educated, awesome females, and they were scared to ask certain questions about their health, and they didn't have the right answers. So there's a lot of misinformation about your health with women because we just don't talk about it a lot. It's very stigmatized, obviously, and not just periods, but periods too. Yeah. And so I kind of thought, once I got into radio, and I've been in radio for 3 years now since graduating, and I thought, if I'm lucky that I had that upbringing and I had the support and felt comfortable asking questions and understanding my health and all the aspects to it, but not a lot of people and a lot of females had that opportunity or have that current situation. So I thought I want to use my platform to spread the message and reduce the stigma around women's health.
So, you work for Virgin Radio.
Yep.
And a radio station that tends to be a little out there, right?
Yep.
They were totally cool with you having this women empowerment chat.
Totally. And actually, it's kind of funny. A lot of people will obviously, and yourself firsthand, media is changing dramatically. The industry, radio is slower, but TV is changing big time, obviously. Like, how many of us have cable still? We're just watching Netflix. So there's a lot of changes going on, and it's actually interesting. A lot of media people have side hustles. It's kind of a common thing now, and especially with my hours, it does kind of allow me. I can get out at noon or 1 p.m. and I can work on some stuff, and this is a passion project. It's a social enterprise, so I'm not making money off of this. It's strictly passion, and I've had the idea for years, and I thought, with my platform now in radio and TV, this is the time to do it. Like, we are so honest on the show. We're really authentic, or at least we try to be all the time with our characters. So this is me, like, truly, I love talking about this kind of stuff. And so my boss was actually really supportive. And I've been hosting a ton of events in London, mostly, obviously that's where I am, but hoping to branch out. And she's like all for it. And we're trying to find a way where we can combine work and Here for Her together to make this massive women's event. Because right now I'm kind of doing it all on my own, which is awesome. But one day it'd be cool to be able to do a big event just to affect more women positively,
Yeah. So, when we talk about like an event, like what kind of would happen? You said you've done a couple events in London. So what happens at these events?
Yeah. So basically, as I said, it's a social enterprise. So of course the clothing is the profit piece. I should explain that. So right now there's, as you can see, the period sweater. So it says period, period, period. We have it in different colors, just fun and really empowering. And it makes you feel like you're making a statement and you're really doing something while just wearing clothing. And all of the money I donate back to women's health or organizations. So starting local and branching out. So in terms of events, we just held a cool ice cream social at one of the local ice cream, it's a small business. She makes all the ice cream herself. She's a good friend of mine. It's called Haven's Creamery, right downtown London. And so we made a craving kicker ice cream flavor. So basically like PMS. Yeah, and so she made like 2 tubs of it, and it was like salty malty pretzel, so PMS backwards. And we sold the 2 tubs in 4 hours. It was $1,000 with freezing rain outside, and we donated it. We split it to one women's shelter and the other women's shelter here in London, and just split 500. And that was 4 hours in ice cream. So starting off like really easy, how I've noticed a disconnect that girls my age who maybe are in university still, or working, and they want to help, like they want to donate, but they don't know how or how to get involved. Because you call a lot of organizations or shelters and say, how can I help? And, one person, they're like, well, bring us some clothes you have that you don't wear, but you don't really know how to do that. So I want Here for Her to be that connection. So you start by buying ice cream, and I'm going to donate all the money. And then maybe a few months from now, we're actually doing a team in the Run for Women. So it's a Shoppers Love You Run for Women, and there's a team Here for Her. So it's starting to become a little bit more involved. And then hopefully I'll get to the point where, one Saturday, once a month, you stay for 2 hours and we meet and we make something and donate it back. So it's only an hour on the weekend, maybe once a month, but you still feel like you're making a difference. And these are women in our community that, unfortunately, either they were in a domestic abusive relationship and they had to get out, and then they don't have a lot of support. So we're helping these women, or women who are homeless and can't afford to buy feminine hygiene products, or whatever it is, ovarian cancer survivors, whatever the cause is, where your time and your money is going.
So I suppose you've been a part of the Me Too movement and the Time's Up and all of those kind of the things that are happening right now. And do you feel like because of those current movements that more people are interested in being a part of events that you're organizing?
100%. And Here for Her, I just launched in July of last year, and I only started selling in November. And that was about the same time when a lot of the Me Too movement began and all of the stories were coming out. And I think it's all connected, because what I've found, and this is a lot to my mom too, because she always said this, when you feel empowered to take control of your health. So whether that's talking about STIs, like it's STI Awareness Month right now. So I just did a big post on our Instagram, which is the hub, where there's basically, I've created like a network of professionals. So we have a physio, we have a doctor, we have all these people involved that just want to get involved, and they give tips on how to take control of your health. So I'll post about a massage therapist, and she'll say, do you do massage? Like, do you know the benefits of massage? Here's what you need to know. So just little ways that women can, oh, I didn't know about that. Cool. Or, oh my God, I get the worst periods. Maybe it's not normal. Like maybe I have endometriosis and I didn't know. So it's ways they can feel empowered and not feel alone. And then usually, like once women feel empowered about their health, that filters over into other areas of their life. So then it's just, empowered to be a female, empowered to speak up about a sexual assault that happened to you, empowered to talk about something that happened at work that just wasn't right. Like I think it's all connected. It's just the different levels of it. And our focus is obviously women's health, but that involves mental health as well, right?
And mental health is a huge topic unto itself. But totally. I think interesting to me because, I'm a Generation Xer, and, we don't really talk about our periods that much wider, right? And, but I do find that millennials tend to be a little bit, so it's interesting.
More open about it. Yeah, which is really cool. And I mean, I just literally, these period sweaters, they were the first thing.
I could never wear that shirt. I
know. And that's okay. And like, I made this and thought no one will buy this. Like my family, my mom will, my sister and my grandmothers, because they have to. Like, this is literally how I started. And I thought, for fun, why not? And I'm gutless. Like on the radio, I'm open about stuff. Like, not necessarily talking about my period every day, because that would not be entertaining. Right. But I mean, just about like my opinions on stuff and everything. So I thought, this is perfectly in my brand. I don't care. I'll take, if I have this platform, I don't know how much longer I'll be in radio and TV. I want to use it the way I can, right? So I thought no one would wear these. And then I was at Starbucks in London, and one girl was like, oh, where'd you get that? Like, I need that. Like, oh my God, like my periods are so bad and nobody understands and blah, blah, blah. And it was awesome. And then like, it kind of just took off. Like I sold over 150 items in like 2 months. And I was like, what? Like, and I just think it's cool. Like we have another sweater that says Here for Her, and it's a baby blue. It's more subtle and just really really not, kind of feminine, but pretty. And low key. And so there's that alternative too. But I agree, like I wear this everywhere now because I'm like, this is awesome. But I didn't think anyone would, and you don't have to be comfortable to wear it. But if you can go on our Instagram and read, you know, one discussion about something that someone asked anonymously, and then I posted and our doctor got involved and our nurse got on it, then, and you can just read it and think, oh my God, that's me, or oh my God, I've had that before, then I think that's the key to it, right? Like not everyone needs to feel comfortable talking about their period. It's just knowing that you're not alone. And if you need to talk about it, you know where to go for help. So you know that you can go make an appointment at this clinic because there's a female there every Saturday morning, or whatever it is. Like we give that type of info so that you know if you have an issue, what to do.
So your goal then is to bring it across the country eventually? Yeah.
Totally. Like I used to work in Halifax and I was born there, and I went to St. X. I don't have my ring on. This is so bad. I'll get in trouble. Our St. X ring. But so I have a lot of friends in Halifax still. So I'm hoping to do an event there sometime. Maybe I could fly down for the weekend. We could do something because there's a lot of interest. And of course we ship anywhere, like online, yeah. But it would be awesome if we could do events in certain cities. Like how cool would that be?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good for you.
And there's so many different like companies around this, right? Like there's Luna pads and all these different, you know, female focused, like underwear that you can wear on your period. But God, there's so many, and we all like message each other on Instagram and stuff, and are doing a lot of like collabs and pop-ups. And I think that's the coolest part. So you get all different angles of women's health together.
Why do you think there is, or continues to be that sort of that stigma around periods? And
I think it's so, like we talk about this all the time at every event. I think it has to do with a lot of like the patriarchy and history and all that kind of stuff, of course, right? Like the role of women, and when you're on your period, you didn't leave the house, and it's very cultural related too, of course. And it depends on, you know, what you were brought up like in the environment you were brought up in. But I'm even shocked with some friends that work at daycares and stuff, and people have kids and they don't even talk to their kids about sex ever. Like like a lot of parents just don't enter the conversation. And for me, like I know I'm only 26, I don't have kids, but I don't understand how you can do that and then not be comfortable talking about it. And I think our society has created it as shameful. It's something we hide. It shows like we're inadequate. There's an equality topic, like, you know, to all of this too, when women are menstruating. And then, you know, I don't know, there's so many different aspects to it, but I'm not going to talk about my period all day, but also if I'm, you know, with my friends and I have to leave because my cramps are so bad or something, like there shouldn't be a reason why I can't say that and not, you know, not tell anyone, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember talking about this with some of my girlfriends, and one of my friends was saying, she's from Indigenous culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
The mother and daughter would run together on the beach, and then the mother would stop and the daughter would continue on running into womanhood. And I remember like my mom telling me this. I grew up in Saskatchewan and thinking,
yeah.
Like it's kind of a beautiful thing, right? It's a celebration, and it's like, but you're right. I think in our culture, we just, this idea of becoming equal has meant that instead of becoming equal, we just tried to be more, or tried to fit in more or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. And like, I mean, there's the whole other aspect of, you know, you're in a law firm and you know, your cramps are horrible and you're running back and forth to the bathroom. You feel like you're going to faint. And are you going to use that as an excuse? Like, you know, not an excuse, but are you going to tell someone in a boardroom that that's why you can't go? No.
Yeah.
No way. And it doesn't, so there's all these things of, I think it's in, you know, the feeling of women being inadequate because of these things. I think I've had talks with people with PhDs and they that's their focus, of course, in gender relations and stuff. And they'll go on, and it's so interesting. And I want to hopefully, you know, record them sometime or do an event on it, more the history of it all. But I think honestly, it was just stigmatized. It was seen as gross, even though, I mean, like women birth babies and like everyone's related to this somehow. Like if you're not comfortable talking about this with your partner, that's a problem. Like it's a natural thing. And again, like I look at it like I don't need to wave my bloody tampon necessarily around in the street to make an impact, but I can promote that this is a natural, healthy thing that all of us experience. So chances are if you're experiencing something, another female or someone who identifies as female has or is, you know, so like you're not alone in that. So let's talk about it and figure it out and go to the doctor and get help and don't be ashamed. And a lot of girls, even again, it's a lot of misinformation, like especially younger girls with PAPs and stuff, and they don't realize how important a PAP is for so many reasons, but they've heard from their friend that it hurts and it was uncomfortable and they didn't want to go, so they tell each other because there's nobody else giving them that information. And that's the part that like hurts me, because I had my mom and I was able to get that info from her, but a lot of my 23, 24-year-old educated friends, you know, avoided PAPs even though they were sexually active because they knew it hurt and they didn't understand why you needed to go get one. And like, that's the key for me. The education portion needs to come when you're younger so that you can make decisions about how you want to act when you know the facts.
Well, and Rachel, you just have such a fun way about you that makes it like seem so less, you know.
Like today I was like, go get tested, like STI word. Like, I don't care, but like anytime you have a new partner or you break up with a partner, like go get tested. I always did, and I'll admit to that. Like our relationship ended and I just went and got tested so that if I ever met someone else, I knew that on my behalf I was good. Like, that's a thing. You don't have to, and if you are sleeping around and whatever it is, your situation, there's no judgments. It's just go and figure it out so that you don't have issues later on. And so like, you know, but this is the truth. And again, it's not spoken about that way. And, you know, a lot of healthcare, it's older individuals preaching these things, which sometimes isn't relatable. And so, you know, a lot of university students are like, okay, a 55-year-old woman's telling me about, you know, not getting chlamydia. Sure, I get it. But like, screw you. Like, they don't understand. So hopefully, like, we have a nurse involved who's amazing and young, and a doctor, like, that we can get the younger crowd and older, like all ages, obviously. I just mean like make more of an impact, because it's, hey, it should be a normal part of your health. Just doing these things. And like, I didn't know about pelvic floor physio until a year ago. And now you know, like you should be going to a pelvic floor physio before you have kids. Like, that's more beneficial. But I didn't know about this. So if I didn't know, then chances are a lot of women don't or didn't.
And the government should be paying for it, frankly.
Totally.
That's another podcast I just did, but we should be paying for women to get that kind of physiotherapy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you've probably talked to a lot of places about feminine hygiene products for free in schools. So that's something I'm kind of like I have some stuff in the works to try and see how we could do that in London, because I know it's a Conestoga College, I believe, right? They just announced a couple days ago that it free feminine hygiene products in all their bathrooms.
Amazing.
Or Centennial College. It might be Centennial College. Yeah. Well, like, that's so cool.
I love that. Great goals. I think that's amazing. Okay, so how can people find you?
Totally. Shophereforher.ca.
Okay.
And then Shop Here For Her on socials.
And you were just saying that Instagram, you've got a great little group going. So where can we find you on Insta?
Yep, at Shop Here For Her on Insta. And basically Insta is like the hub. We do Twitter, but Twitter, as we know, is kind of like, it's still there. It's still there, but like Instagram's where it's happening. So yeah, everything's on Instagram, and you can just follow along. You can participate. It's whatever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable doing.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No, there's lots of stuff in the works. I just hope the more women we can reach, like, there's room for all of these female focused organizations. And I think the time is now, and it's really exciting that people want to get involved and want to help. And I've just learned so much touring around, even to women's organizations here in London. And a lot of women that use these organizations are just like you and I. Like, either they just were unfortunate with where, you know, foster care they grew up, or something happened and a traumatic event. Like, they're no different than you and I. And so they need our support. So that's a big part of it being a social enterprise.
Ooh, you're going in and out on me here.
Oh, no.
Do you want to repeat that? Yeah. But I think
sorry.
We're good now.
We're good now? Okay, I'll just really quickly, but I just said, because I'm a social enterprise, like, I've toured around to the women's organizations in London, and I've really opened my eyes to women that use these services, and they're women just like you and I, right? They were either brought up in foster care, they weren't given a fair chance, or unlucky, or a traumatic event, and like, it could happen to any of us. So it's really important to me that we donate back and donate our time and our money, and hopefully we can, and obviously we're doing that through an awesome cause.
Yeah. Thank you. Love the shirt.
Thank you so much.
Fired from afar, but I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
There's other shirts. There's ones that aren't as aggressive. This one says fem moves.
Okay, I can totally do that.
Yeah, like feminist moves, making moves. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my life.
There you go. Exactly. So there you go. That's perfect for you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. This is awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, well, and thanks to everybody who's listening in on us. Your comments are welcome and encouraged. Please subscribe to our Women's March Canada podcast or Women's March Canada YouTube channel, and you'll receive an update every single time we upload a new podcast, which is usually every Friday. I try. Our mission across Canada is to stand together in solidarity with our partners and children for the protection of our rights, our safety, our health, and our families, recognizing that our vibrant and diverse communities are the strength of our country. This is the Women's March Canada podcast. You can find us on Twitter, because we still use Twitter, Rachel,
Twitter
at Women's March CDA. And on our website at womensmarchcanada.com. I'm Melissa Durrell. I hope you have a great day. Bye.